Hello, sorry for the delay in my arrival here. Welcome to Talk Talk live on IG and YouTube. Yes, I was running out to bring some family friends out to Barrie. If you know where Toronto is, you know where Barrie is, then you'd understand that making it back here in 35 minutes is damn near impossible. But I did it anyways, channeling the soul of Lewis and all that. Just wanted to fix the camera right here and let y'all know that we are back, we are live. Third day in a row! We are back for third day in a row here at Talk Talk Live. Want to make this more of a regular occasion. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live. Yes, indeed, live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Check this out. We're sponsored by Dun Talk. Yes, indeed. DUNTALK.com. Yes, fall winter line out now. Not wearing it tonight because I had to rush in and get things started. But again, we appreciate Dun Talk, DUNTALK.com for their sponsorship of this program. Let's get into it, people. There's a lot of stuff to cover in very short space of time. So let's get into it. All right. I made it inflammatory. I made the title inflammatory for a reason, because things have reached the point of no return. Things have things in the Western world, especially in this gynocracy in which we live, are so awful. Hold on, let me get this back here. Are now at a point of crisis. We're at a crisis point right now, people. And the fact of the matter is, sorry, I had to just hook up a bit of sound there. The fact of the matter is that drastic measures have to be taken. And if they were in the, as a result, that we don't condone, we do not condone, if they happen to result in ladies such as Rhoda Osmond being the victim of a altercation that she played a part in, and that men did not come to her rescue for, well then, so be it. But let's get into it right away. The question is tonight, are all modern women entitled to protection? Are all modern women entitled to protection? And let's answer this question from this lovely lady. We just got it from Mediocre Tutorial Reviews. I'm going to go to my browser, make sure that's true. And we are here at Mediocre Tutorial Reviews. Like, subscribe, comment to Mediocre Tutorial Reviews, doing wonderful things in these YouTube streets. He is one of the the leaders in this sort of chat, especially within Black YouTube. And shout out to him as always, indeed. But hey. Mediocre Tutorial Reviews arrived at this one question that he saw today, and we are going to answer it. And I think it typifies what we are dealing with tonight, the subject matter we're dealing with tonight. So let's let her ask the question.
Clarify this. Are y'all telling us that if you are not related to us, if you are not dating us, if you're not having some sort of physical relationship to us, if you don't find us attractive, if you don't find us polite enough, kind enough, quiet enough, that our lives are not worth protecting? Is that what you're telling us? Is that the precedent you're setting?
I'll let her repeat that. One more time for the cheap seats. And it's a very, very, how shall I say, very abrupt, to the point, and straightforward question. Yes, indeed. Let's hear it.
So let me clarify this. Are y'all telling us that if you are not related to us, if you are not dating us, if you're not having some sort of physical relationship to us, if you don't find us attractive, if you don't find us polite enough, kind enough, quiet enough, that our lives are not worth protecting? Is that what you're telling us? Is that the precedent you're setting?
Yes. To all those questions within a question and the macrocosmic question, yes. Yes, that's exactly what we're telling you. Because you see, 50 years of feminist, women's movement, gynocratic influence on Western society, to which most of the laws are catered to you. Most divorce laws are catered to you. Equal pay is at a premium. Men have built society in which ladies live and they're at their most safest in history, it has allowed women to say they don't need men. They literally don't need men. And if you don't need men, remember what has been said by the likes of Myron and Jess Pearly thinks, well, she does say it, which is actually true. 80% of men women deem unattractive. And that if you do not have the financial wherewithal to keep a woman around, we are deemed needless in society. Then yes, society needs correction. And in order to correct society and bring it back to some sort of balance, us turning the other cheek, looking away from an altercation such as what was seen happen to Rhoda Osmond, although we didn't actually see any sort of beating in that capacity, but what was insinuated by Rhoda Osmond, and anything of that ilk, anything of that sort, will be, we will notify the authorities, but men will not step in. Men will not step in. They will not step in anymore. Not in this Western society. They'd rather fly away to a patriarchal society to find a woman that is deemed worthy of protection and provision. We will protect our wives. We will protect our children. We will protect our girlfriends. We will protect those who feed us and you know what us. We will protect those who are deserving of said protection. And for the rest of you who deem us surplus to requirements, we're hands off. The days of chivalry are over and women killed it. Myron from Fresh and Fit said that, and it is so true. Privilege is blind to those who receive it. Another Myron take, which I totally agree with. So, society is now going through a phase of self-correction to a point where if you're not our wives, if you're not our mothers, if you're not our children, if you're not our girlfriends, if you're not feeding us and fucking us or giving us peace, or being an indispensable part of our lives, any sort of violence that you ensue or you attract to yourself, after further warning from men, you will be dealt in kind without a man's protection. Because the thing about it, ladies, is this. Men do a cost-benefit, pro-con analysis in their head whenever they are involved in some sort of altercation and confrontation. They decide, am I going to jail for this? Am I going to be injured by this? Will I die tonight? And with this analysis that goes through our head, that goes through in real time, within a 10, 20, 30 second time frame, we must decide if women on the whole are worth the risk of our freedom and our life. And if you are not deemed worthy of that life, our freedom, and our protection, we will not protect you anymore. Because remember, you said that you're single, independent, and you don't need men. You've said this for 50 years, and the din has got only louder within the last 30, 20, 10 years. Especially with the Rainbow Coalition coming to the fore. And you saying to yourself, oh, we don't need men. We can do this by ourselves. Remember what Rhoda Osmond said herself. Let's get back to it, guys. Let's get back to it. Remember what Rhoda Osmond said herself. We'll use this thing here by Chisa Zen from the Coffee Pot. Hold on a second. Let's get there. Let's see where she said it. No. Here we go. Yes. Remember when Rhoda Osmond said this? Ladies and gentlemen, let's get there. Fair use, fair use.
This is one.
When you see displays such as this,
this is for the fact that you're a white man and I'm a black woman. I have less privilege than you.
slapping white men in the face, laughing in their face.
For all the rappers and public figures in general who said that Sukiyana and other women who rap about their bodies vulgarly are just going to be touched because they bring it onto themselves, just know that when you're talking about your money and how much you like a trick, it will be touched. It will be touched. And I'm going to start tonight.
Purporting theft. Yes, brother, continue. The hits keep coming.
Happy Pride. I
This is
hope
the one.
every black woman is kissing another black woman because we are the innate protectors and the providers. We protect societies, we protect communities with our intellectual property, with our lived experience.
Now, we're going to go back.
No.
We're going to go back.
I want to hear that whole scenario right there. I want to hear it all because that's the key one. That is the key point in this whole feud at this point in time. This is where men had, here we go. This is where men had to decide, you know what? Enough is enough. Man should never be alone, but you know what he also said? Thank you very much for your comment, Chanel. You know what he also said? That man is the head of any sort of relationship or family. If we protect and provide, they should be given headship. That's what God said too. But women have fallen away from that subject, especially in the feminist age. They've fallen away from it. To a point where, wait, we finally got the quote all here to a point where women have a low level of contempt for men. To a point where they're starting to run to the Pink Mafia, to the Alphabet Gang, saying that they will be the new protectors. Look, it said right here. Look, here we go. Thank you very much, Mediocre Tutorial Reviews.
Forget Brittany for now. Let's dive back into the psychology of the bricked young lady.
I hope every black woman is kissing another black woman because we are the innate protectors and the providers. We protect societies, we protect communities with our intellectual property, with our lived experiences, with our breast milk, with our bodies. We're the ones and the two. Bitch, not even the three. Because men are not providers and protectors, not innately, because they only protect what they possess. But we protect everybody and we provide, baby, okay? So I hope you catch a girl tonight because I hope I do. Ew. And don't forget, before there was feminism, it was lesbians who were living those lives without worried about niggas. Like, they were not worried about niggas. They were decentering men. So before there was feminism, there were lesbians. Hey, excuse me.
So men are not protect.
Remember that? And this is not just an isolated incident. This has gone on for the last 50 years. And stronger within the last 10 to 15 years. As the LGBTQ community has grown, not with the help of men, mind you. Men have basically remained steady in terms of, coming out and being gay or being, bisexual and such. It's remained steady. What's on the rise now are women who are coming out and being polyamorous and being bisexual and being lesbians. That's on the rise. Seems they don't need men. Such as Rhoda Osmond, as you saw here on Talk Live. She don't need men. And there are many women if you saw her likes, you'd understand. They're in the thousands. They're in the thousands. It's not just one isolated incident. Her support is stunning, to say the least. So what does that leave us? And the thing about it is, it hasn't gone amiss within not only the LGBTQ community, but in also the Somali community that she's involved with, a very conservative Muslim community. So what did they do? They took matters into their, well, I don't think they took matters in their own hands. They decided to omit themselves from any sort of confrontations into which she's in, because the world knows about her. Her world knows about her in Houston, Texas. That's where she's from. That's where she's based now. She's born in Somali, but she lives in Houston, Texas now. The world knows about her. Her community knows about her, and they know about her abhorrent ways. Slapping men, twerking, stealing, committing ounces of petty crime, whether admitted or not. And so, men in that community took a stand and said, no, we're not doing this anymore. We're stepping back. We're stepping away. And that's what men are starting to do en masse. They're starting to see who are feminine women and who are not. And to those who are not feminine women, and to those who will not have the covering of men from their families, and who reject men outright, they will not be covered anymore. Because this is not a right, it's a privilege, being protected by men. It's a privilege. And if you wish for those privileges to be revoked, so be it. We won't protect you. As in my case, I'll protect my mother. I'll protect my sister. I'll protect my girlfriend. But I will not run to the rescue of any random woman anymore. Hell no. Because what's the cost? When you do the cost-benefit analysis, I could end up dead. I could end up in jail. Or thoroughly injured. So, the choice is clear for most men. Men have decided to step away from that. And who exemplifies this point? As we'll get through it. And, well, first, let's do this. Let's do this here first. Mediocre tutorial. No, we're going to go to Jeremy Hill content, the Jeremy Hill show. Shout out to Jeremy Hill. He is a new YouTuber on these YouTube streets and is doing wonderful things. And we're going to go to his one video here. We're going to give him some light today. Because again, it's been a Crimson Cure MTR show lately. But we're going to let this run right here. Where we're going to show you the consequences of men running in and protecting women that they know they shouldn't. So let's take it from here, and then we'll head into Crimson Cure. Thank you very much for joining us, Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's do this.
Hold on. I'm going to go help that woman right there. I want you to see the consequence of this decision that he made. Hold on 1 second while I pull it up. This is for fair use. I'm using these clips out of fair use.
Fair use indeed.
And for educational purposes. The purpose is to warn you of this foolish act. Let's get started.
Now, the scenario is this. A man saw a woman being beat in a Walmart. She'll tell the story. A woman being beaten in a Walmart. And he decided to do the chivalrous thing and help out a woman who was being beat. Turns out that was a deadly decision. And you'll see the results in a minute.
It's the songs that plays back in your head. It's the whole scene that plays back in your head.
It was supposed to be a simple shopping trip that changed Makia Ford's life forever. She watched her boyfriend, an infant baby's father, Thierry Bastien, get shot 6 times.
In the front of the baby, and in the front of my kids, and in the front of me.
Her husband is now dead.
Fair use, yes.
Because he wanted to go help a woman that he did not know, a stranger. He was shot 6 times to death in front of his wife, who is now a widow, and also in front of his child, who is now an orphan. Think about what I'm saying right here. Why am I bringing this up? Because this whole fiasco of That woman who got hit in the head with a brick and she was complaining about men not protecting her, and men are getting bashed because of that. And I want you to understand, gentlemen, because a lot of these gentlemen out here are believing they should intervene when they see a man jumping on a woman, even if they have a wife, child, or whatever. I want you to understand the dangers of that. So let's keep playing.
Of my kids and in front of me, that's something I'm never, ever going to get over for the rest of my life.
Ford says she and Bastien witnessed a man beating up a woman inside this Lauderdale Lakes Walmart. No one tried to help the woman out, and Ford says Bastien came to her aid.
When he threw her down and he started punching on her is when he ran off to go help her. And I pulled him back and I told him to don't go. And
I want y'all to hear that. See, when a woman is actually operating in her feminine energy, she is there to add to a man because she's a helper. She is a subservient. She was designed to assist the man. When a man is not thinking clearly, she is supposed to be acting in her feminine energy to give him a warning. What she was doing, the mother in her, the motherhood that was in her, who wanted a father for her child, and also the wife in her who wanted a husband. All these things came into play right then. She did not want to see her husband get into a situation that could possibly end his life or get hurt. Now notice, the news reporter said while this woman was getting beat, nobody was helping this woman. They were just there. So you don't know what's going on with these men and these women. You don't know if that's a toxic relationship where they always do that or not. All we know is that this gentleman lost his life trying to help a stranger.
Lauderdale Lakes Walmart. No one tried to help the woman out, and Ford says Bastien came to her aid.
when he threw her down and he started punching on her is when he ran off to go help her. And I pulled him back and I told him to don't go. And he said he'd just go in to help.
Bastien and the alleged...
And there it is. Shout out to Jeremy Hill. He put it so clearly in that women are supposed to be helpmates. They are supposed to be there in aid of men and give them counsel when necessary, especially when things get emotionally charged. In this instance, a woman was being beat by her boyfriend in Walmart. Everybody else watching. An innocent bystander, along with his wife and child, were there watching along, and he decided to do the chivalrous thing and help. And in doing so, he lost his life. He lost his life when his wife pleaded with him not to go. She was using her womanly intuition in this instance to try to save his life. He didn't listen. This is the cost-benefit analysis that men have to undertake in order to wonder if it's worth our lives to protect a woman. A woman who may or may not be worthy of protection. And the truth must be said. Unless that woman feeds us, gives birth to our children, is intimate with us, or gives us that peace of mind so that we cannot do without them, or our mothers or our sisters or our family, we should not be involved in this. We should have called the police and stay out of it. If the woman gets beat, the woman gets beat. Simple as that. But man decided to be the chivalrous one, and his life was over. Listen in.
Shooter, a Walmart employee who was off the clock, Tyrone Sterling tussled, and investigators say Sterling shot him. Ford pleading with the shooter after the first shot to spare her boyfriend's life.
I had to
Think about it. Let's break this down. The man who was beating a woman was a Walmart employee who wasn't working that day. He was off the clock. This woman's husband went over there to stop him from fighting his girlfriend. And what happened? Another fight ensued. Do you really think if a man is fighting his girlfriend and you try to stop that he's going to stop being angry, stop being hostile? He turned his anger on this man because he had no business interrupting what he had going on. So now this man pulled out his weapon and shoot her husband. As soon as her husband hit the ground, the wife ran up and begged the man, please do not end the life of my husband. Please, begging. But the man is so mad he shot him to death anyway. Think about this. All you gentlemen out there who want to tell men to intervene in somebody else's business, you will be in the morgue with a toe tag. This is not the first time something like this has happened.
For pleading.
I have a comment here saying, would never be me to watch that. I would step in something. God created. Okay, yeah, we done that. We done that. Yeah, thank you, Chanel, for that. But this is what happens every day. That's the United States. That's why I never lived there. If you get enough idiots with guns, a lot of innocent people are going to die. It's as simple as that. But again, I heard a comment on the YouTube space that they want a better view of this, so we're going to give them a better view. We have that better view right here. Thank you, Mediocre Tutorial Reviews, for that better view. We're gonna replay that news report of the man who was killed while in Walmart.
Is a Good Samaritan who was shot when he was trying to help a woman who worked at the store.
22-year-old Taroni Sterling of Lauderhill behind bars accused of shooting a man inside a Lauderdale Lakes Walmart Tuesday afternoon.
I was at the cash register and we heard some shots. Everybody just started running. I ran out of there.
Walmart customers who dropped everything to escape the gunfire yesterday returning to the store this morning to collect their belongings.
I left my book bag, but I had my wallet with me.
Broward County deputies surrounding the store yesterday. BSO says so far their investigation shows Sterling arrived at the Walmart. He works there but was not on shift. Sterling and a female employee were arguing when things got physical. Deputies say Sterling dropped a gun on the floor and tried to steal the woman's cell phone. A male shopper tried to intervene. Sterling picked up the gun and shot the customer multiple times before running away. That customer was airlifted to Broward Health, where he later died from his injuries. After a few hours of searching, BSO SWAT and intervention teams tracked down Sterling near an apartment complex in Lauderhill. Cell phone video appears to show them taking him into custody. He now faces first-degree charges of murder and armed robbery by sudden snatching.
First off, RIP to the man who...
There it is. See what happens to Good Samaritans? See what happens to those who protect? Those who should not be protected? Now, I'm saying this in the sense that there shouldn't be hands laid on a woman, but at the end of the day, it's not his business to protect that woman. It's not his business. He should have left it to the authorities. Men with firearms, because this man had a firearm and shot him 6 times. And now he's no more. Leaving a wife and a young son to fend for themselves. Now the thing about it is, you ask if there was a GoFundMe, if there is any sort of apology, if there is any sort of fundraiser for this child and his family without a father now. It could be a manslaughter, it could be anything they want to be, Chanel. He shouldn't have been there in the first place. Because it was not his business to protect that woman. Yet every day, women renege on their social contract with men because the social contract is this. You want a man to protect and provide, we need you to nurture, provide comfort, provide the necessities of a household, cooking, cleaning, the whatnot. And we will provide you protective provision. That's the social contract. However, unilaterally, Women don't want to do that anymore. They don't want to live under the auspices of a man. So be it. Okay. But they still want a man to be the protector. Men aren't taking that deal anymore. They simply aren't. They aren't doing it. They're not doing it. Because you could end up like this man in a body bag. So when you hear stuff like, again, this lady right here, where is it now? Where'd she go? Ah. No, it's that one, right? When you hear ladies like this come out and literally say, with a straight face,
So let me clarify this. Are y'all telling us that if you are not related to us, if you are not dating us, if you're not having some sort of physical relationship to us, if you don't find us attractive, if you don't find us polite enough, kind enough, quiet enough, that our lives are not worth protecting? Is that what you're telling us? Is that the precedent you're setting?
we have to answer with a straight face, yes. Yes. Yes, indeed. Let's get back into it, MTR. He goes a little further into this video. Yes, indeed. That's exactly what we're telling you. Exactly what we're telling you.
Find us polite enough, kind enough, quiet enough, that our lives are not worth protecting? Is that what you're telling us? Is that the precedent you're setting?
Now, this particular video here is spreading like wildfire all across the internet. But before I go in on her comments,
Quiet enough
Sure.
that our lives are not worth protecting? Is
No.
that what you're telling us?
Yeah.
Is that the precedent you're setting?
Yes. Yes, that's the precedent that we're setting. I'm not being held responsible to protect what I am not accountable for. I am also not to be held responsible for protecting those with a behavior that is not worthy of being protected of. Why? Well, it puts me at risk. It puts me in danger, and the trade-off for men are potentially fatal.
We have new details today after a
And we've already heard that before. See, so you get my meaning here? Do you understand where we're coming from as men? We will not protect all women anymore. Because you said you were single, independent, don't need men. You said you're superior to us. Fine. Show us. Beat a man. An angry man. A man with a brick in his hand. Go ahead. Because the rank and file men out there that are not the authorities, be it the police, fire, military, we're not going to come save you anymore. But it's not right now. We hear from Chanel here, it's not right. I remember when I was 8 months pregnant with my second child, my car needed to jump and no man would help me. Now, in that instance of jumping a car, there's no threat to our life. So that's a bit of a far-fetched example. Men should come to your rescue because their lives are truly not threatened, so a man should come to your rescue. However, if our lives are threatened, if there is a chance we could go to jail or die that night, we're not coming. Don't expect men to come. Don't expect men to protect you. No. A cost-benefit analysis will be performed in our head, as usually happens when hand-to-hand, if not weapon-like conflict. There we go. I finally found it. If there's a chance that we may die or end up in jail that night, we're not coming to help. Unless you are our woman and you are under our protection. It's only then will we come to the rescue. Other than that, we may call the authorities. Other than that, it's hands off, because you said you didn't need us. So let the man whom you need provide the protection. We're going to get into this with the one and only Crimson Cure. Let's just get into it, because this girl breaks it down so very, very well. Shout out to the Crimson Cure. Where's the next one? Oh my God. She had an outstanding show today. An outstanding show today. And I had to highlight it here. Women hate the men they beg for protection. And it's true. They hate us. There's a low-level amount of contempt for men in this world, especially within the African diaspora, especially in the Western world, especially in the United States. Some in Canada, but in the United States, definitely. And Madam Crimson Cure, who is wearing a lovely hijab. Shout out to Crimson Cure. Her hijab today was outstanding. She breaks it down for us, guys. She really does break it down. So I'm going to let her get into it. We're going to let this run free flow. Fair use, fair use, fair use. This lady is doing wonderful things in the YouTube streets. And you as women, I don't care what race you are. I don't care what color you are. Listen to this lady. Because she has something to say that is spot on. And we're going to let this run at length, and we're just going to break it down. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. On the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're just going to get on with this. Let's go.
And thank you so much, Miss Lucchese,
moving on a little further here
for your super sticker. We're going to give a roar.
First thing we want to see here is, well, the future of womanhood.
And then the sound goes out.
Of women who are not protected and provided for. We're going to get into the future right now. This is what's going to happen. Let's go back a little further, and then we're going to play it from the start.
Thank you, Mobile Maze, for the contribution, sweetheart. Okay, because they be in the maboos and stuff like that. So this is probably the person that work in the subway. But let's go.
You see it on Talk Live. You see a woman being beaten while another woman working in the subway system, the New York subway system, the MTA, just sits there and watches and videotapes. But isn't that what Rhoda was talking about? That you are the protectors and providers? Where's the protection now? This woman's getting beat. Fair use, fair use.
So we can see
where are the women protecting
he's
now?
Going to town. Pants coming down. All kind of stuff. Okay, this is distasteful to see, but a lesson must be learned from this.
You can see here on Talk Live on YouTube. This woman is being beaten for a song. If you see it from the start, let's see, get there from the start. Yes, let's get it from here. What happens is the woman starts with the cane and starts beating on the man, thinking, oh yeah, I can take this guy. She starts beating, so it's mutual affray. She starts beating on with the cane. Mutual affray meaning it's an equal fight. Right. Until the man gets pissed off. Then the inequality starts to show. Let's go again.
Oh my goodness.
Woman falls to the ground.
Okay. Now it appears that the person that is recorded is not only a female, but if she's behind that booth, she's a MTA worker. Okay, because they be in the maboos and stuff like that. So this is probably the person that work in the subway. But let's go.
Now there's a female protector and provider here, people. This is the one that Rhoda was referring to. These are the female protectors and providers. This is what they do. You know what they do? They sit behind the glass and film. She may have called the authorities, but she ain't getting involved. I thought she was here to protect. I thought so. But no, he continues. The woman is literally left there to take the punishment. And this is going to happen more and more all the time. It's not right. I do not believe men should lay hands on a woman, period. Let that be said. But the more you diss men and the more you say you don't need them, these incidents are going to continue to happen.
So we can see that he's going to town. Pants coming down. All kind of stuff. Okay, this is not a pretty sight. This woman's bags are everywhere. She's on the ground here, trying to stop him from hitting her with this cane.
Then he hits her about the head.
Hitting her, period. Okay? So we don't hear what he's saying. The video is silent. We don't hear what he's arguing about, whether it makes sense or not. So we're not getting any context.
And then, to end it all off, he kicks her about the head and then walks away. This is what happens when uncovered women go against men who are seriously maladjusted and expect a different result. If you are uncovered and you purport to be uncovered and you wish to be uncovered, you will be uncovered. That's what the Bible said. Your man is supposed to be your protection and your provision. He didn't need us because you live in the freest, most economically stable environment of all time. You have the police on one end, you got fire on the other, you have security here, you have all these, you have men creating the society in which you can truly say, you have the military at your borders where you can truly say, you don't need a man. We've created a society so free, you can say that and light them and with freedom, liberty, and justice for all. Okay, you're about to get some justice. Just going to serve up real right because feminism have taken that and spun on its head to a point where women believe they don't need men. They could do it all themselves. And now it's a time of reckoning. When the pendulum swings to one end too far, there has to be a correction. So that women rest back in their feminine once more. This is what's going on now. This is what's going on now. Sexual assaults, unfortunately, on the rise. Beatings of women, unfortunately, on the rise. Because you deem 80% of men as invisible. Oh, they're going to get visible now. They're going to get real visible. Unfortunately, they're going to get visible. I do not condone this activity at all. Men should be abstaining from this. But there are certain maladjusted men out there who take their vans and run down Young Street and knock down whatever women they can find. Killing many. I think it was about 11, 12. That's Alex Manasseh. Remember him? He was one of the rejected. He was the forgotten rock. He is one of the invisible men that women deem unattractive. Women say women do it by themselves. Chanel, thank you for the comment. Thank you for your commentary. But if you think that women do things by themselves, if you think that the establishment you live in were built by women, if you think the car in which you drive were built by women, if you think the freedoms that you have were built by women, you're sorely mistaken. There's a saying as I brought to light just a few minutes ago, and I'll say it again for those who missed it. Privilege is invisible to those who have it. Women have a privilege. Women have chivalry on their side. But that's slowly ebbing away. You're going to see how Myron from Fresh and Fit says this oh so well. Women live life on easy mode. A way easier mode than men do. You're about to find out how easy life is. Because you said you don't need men? Fine. You're going to end up, some are going to end up like this lady, unfortunately. They're going to get beat. Until women finally realize men are needed to smooth out society. The thing about feminism is it wasn't there to make women independent, single, and better than men. It was there to make you consumers. To up your buying power. It was a Madison Avenue idea. Gone too far, unfortunately. Because women took it and ran with it. Now it's on ad campaigns and in TV shows and in movies and the like, to a point where women are seen on camera beating up men. Now, if you think that is realistic, you are sorely mistaken. Only a 1% of women could actually get away with that, and that is a distinct minority. Most women, if that played out for real, would get their asses whooped. And that's with men with training and without. They get their asses whooped. Because men have more upper body strength, tensile strength, endurance, vitality. Case in point, look at The Island by Bear Grylls. You ever seen that show? They drop women on one island, they drop men on the other. Within a week, women nearly died. They had to literally airlift them out of there because they were so dehydrated, so malnourished, that they nearly were a body bag. While men on the other side of the island, they gained shelter, food, had delineated positions of work for each other, started a society. To those women who still survived that island, you know what they did? They found the way to their men and they curried favor with them, said, please shelter us. So when I see a statement like, most women do it by themselves, no. It's been proven they can't. It's literally been proven they can't. They want their sons to protect them. But here is the problem. You raise son husbands. And if there is no male influence in the house or around them, guess what happens to the sons? They usually end up in jail. You know that 80% of the prison population are from single mother homes? I say that again. 80% of Western world prison populations have men from single parent homes, especially in the United States. So, unless you're willing to beat that point, then we should move on to the next one. So here we go. Crimson Cure, Crimson Cure, Crimson Cure. We're going to continue with her, well, what she has to say, because quite simply, she is spot on in everything. I had to listen to this again. And I want you to hear it for yourselves. Crimson Cure, you're the floor. Fair use, fair use, fair use. Thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live. Let's go.
You won't even defend other black women. But you want men to come defend black women in any situation. Clearly, this old lady needed help. Clearly, she needed help. And the woman didn't go out there. And she utilized the MTA policy to hide behind. Well, in a situation like this, it's policy for me not to come out of this booth. So she was comfortable. I don't know why there was no sound. She was comfortable to hide behind the policy. Now, if that was a man MTA worker, policy or not, he would have been blamed for not coming to this old lady's rescue. Risk his job and stuff like that is supposed to be, forget the policy, it's right and wrong. And it's wrong to stand there and watch a elderly lady be assaulted and you are a man and you don't stop it. Okay? But the point that I'm getting to is I thought you didn't need men. See, that rhetoric that's been going on for like 50 years, you can't. The chickens have now come home to roost. The chickens have come home to roost. And this is why the rhetoric was so dangerous. Because women are going to start getting it from all sides, whether she initiates it or not. Because, see, we don't know the context of that video. We don't know if that because old ladies be having smart mouths. Don't trip. Old ladies be getting real spicy. Because they old, and they figure they old, and they women, and you ain't gonna touch them because they old and they women, right? So they get real spicy with you. But I don't know if she started it or he started it. If he's got a mental problem, then, he might have started. Who knows? If he's unstable. All right? This is the other thing. You gotta be real selective around here. Just real selective. Because people be in bad moods. People don't be right in the head. Mm-hmm. They have a reaction totally not fitting for what's happening. All kinds of stuff. All kinds of possibilities. But the woman did not go help the other woman. Could it be the reason she didn't help that other woman is because it was a man that was attacking her. And he was already wilding out. And she didn't want no smoke with that man. She didn't want no piece of that cane. You understand? Cane action. She didn't want none. Because what is she really going to do? She could go out there, she could beg him to stop. But what if he decide she need to get some smoke? And
that's the question men fiddle with every now and again when confrontation happens. How will this altercation, this fight, this confrontation end up? Will I win the battle? Will I win the war? Will I end up in jail? Will I end up dead? All these things are going in a man's head. But with women, they don't have this sort of logically based cost-benefit analysis. No, because they'll just be emotional, run off at the mouth because they think that men will be there to protect them, to protect that mouth. Remember what happened Remember what happened to Brittany Renner. Remember what happened to her? Oh yeah, we're going to get it here on Talk Live. We're going to get it in.
TJ just got an amazing.
Can't control. At the end of the day, I tried to force something that wasn't mine.
No, here we go.
That wasn't my person, and that's okay.
Remember what happened to Brittany? When she went off at the mouth and threw a bottle at an ex-world champion fighter?
Chill. Relax.
I ain't chilling.
Relax.
Because at the end of the day, it ain't your pussy. Hey, listen! I hear you!
Nah, that ain't cool, lady. For real. I'm not part of this.
Hey, listen, that's fine. But guess what? You protecting him is what it is. Is it not? Is it not? Is it not?
She hit the wrong nigga.
Hey, don't be sitting over there laughing.
I'm not here to
Let me tell you, I ain't talking to you. I ain't talking to him right here. I ain't talking to Then bat me in my shit then.
Chap, she cool.
Bat me in my shit.
Apologies, Chap.
Bat me in my shit.
Remember she's... I showed you Shannon Briggs. 6'4", 260 pounds. Of mean. And I mean mean. But she wanted Shannon to bat her in her shit, as she said. Bat her in her shit. Okay. You know why she could say such a thing? Because she had 3 gentlemen, 1, 2, 3 gentlemen who will be there to run in front of her in such an instance and de-escalate the wolf tickets she was trying to sell. The check she was trying to cash from that mouth of hers. She said, bat her in her shit. Believe me, if those men weren't around, she would have got batted. And she would have flew at least 10 to 15 feet in a direction. And her tone would have changed then. You see, the reason why, again, privilege is oblivious to those who have it. She can run off her mouth because there will be men there to protect her. If those men weren't around, she would have caught a stick like the other man would. She would have caught a brick the way Rhoda Osmond would. Regardless of who she was. Because I'm telling you something, Shannon Briggs didn't give up. He didn't give up. Did not give 1 iota of up. He was going to rearrange her mouth then and there. Remember, it goes on.
Don't hit women, yo.
All right,
It's Shannon Briggs right here. Trip it out. We're good. We're good.
Apologies, Chap.
At the end of the day, all right, I don't give a fuck you talking about, lady. I don't care. At the end of the day, nobody knows what I went through. Nobody knows what I'm going through. So nobody, you?
Take that scenario right there and transpose that to Rhoda Osmond. And you'd understand she would get a brick in her head. Think of that. Take that to Rhoda Osmond, and you'll understand why she got a brick to her head. Because she ran off so ignorantly at the mouth. And men told her to calm down, but she didn't listen. And Rhoda would have slapped him in his face and twerked for him too. That, believe me, there would be consequences. She is acting like the man. She's acting masculine. And guess what? That is the majority of women in the Western world. They're acting like men. So there has to be a correction. You know where that correction comes in? When men take themselves out of the picture. And say to you ladies, you want to fight? I remember that, I just watched The Kingsman this weekend. And I remember the most famous saying from that movie, manners maketh man. Manners maketh man. Not woman, man. Because a man can back up his manners. Not a woman. Not a woman. Coming back for hour number 2. We continue this. Crimson Cure is not done. I'm not done. We're going to get through this, and we're going to really flesh out the issue of if women are worthy of protection. Come back in hour number 2 here on IG. We're going to still continue things on YouTube. And, hey, it's a great conversation to have, baby. But it has to happen. All right? Talk soon. Back live here on Talk Talk Live. Back live here on hour number 2 of Talk Talk Live. Yes, we are still going in on the question of if all women of all modern women. Let me preface that by saying, are all modern women worthy of protection? And we have answered the question in the negative. No, they are not. Chivalry is dead and women killed it. The privilege that were provided to you so long ago have eroded. You have said you don't need men. You've deemed certain amount of men as invisible. Well, guess what? The invisible majority will let you know they're there still. In ways you don't want to know about. But we're going to let Brittany continue. Because she had the floor. She had the floor. Thinking that she could be, that she's a celebrity so she can get away with this with a former heavyweight world champion. We were just explaining that. But she didn't understand that these sort of words like this.
Him, whoever the fuck. You don't get to sit here and talk about shit. Ain't nobody drunk bitch talking about nothing.
We family.
What's up?
Here. We family here.
What's up?
We family here.
What's up?
Champ. No,
I ain't talking about nothing. I ain't talking about nothing.
We family.
This is Charleston's people, not mine. It's Charleston's people.
No, we family.
He said you alright.
I ain't no fucking security, bitch.
I don't give a fuck what you talking about.
Champ.
Baby in my shit then.
It's all good.
Baby in my shit then.
Come on.
Then shut the fuck up.
Chill. Let's relax.
All right, let's reset the room. Let's reset the room.
It is what it
guys.
is.
Let's reset the room.
It
guys.
is what it is.
Everybody cool, guys. Everybody cool.
It is what it is.
All right.
That sort of childish behavior would have got her ass whooped that day. But because we're men of taste and distinction, we'll let it go. But that sort of stuff will soon, and I repeat, and I'm so sad to say this, it's so sad for me to say that it will soon be a thing of the past that a woman can run off at the mouth like that without repercussions. That day is coming. This is a woman who has no cover, is not protected. Her ex is off with another woman, and they're engaged to be married. She is not covered. The only thing she's covered for is by the state and by the family court system. That's it. So for her to run off her mouth like that, as celebrity as she is, well, I don't know if she is celebrity. She's, well, she's a Z-list celebrity at best. For her to run off at the mouth like that, she's going to run up into the wrong guy, and she's going to find out. And it's happening every single day as time goes on, because not all modern women are worthy of the privilege of protection. Brittany Renner being subject number 1. We already talked about Rhoda Osmond, but I'll let my girl Crimson Cure come back, because this girl's smiling, thinking that she can write checks her mouth can't. Believe me, she'll write checks her mouth can't cash. And women do this every Friday, Saturday, or every night on the town. They think that they can literally go up to men, insult them, bat them in their face, twerk in front of them, and think that There is not a price to be paid, and there is one. Crimson, please elucidate the audience and let us know the price that will be paid in due course. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment, and run all to 1,000 subscribers. Let's go.
Start hitting her. Now she's being assaulted as well. So she know that. Women know that. They know they can't deal with a man on a physical level. See, they try to pick and choose which guy they're going to disrespect. Because when they kind of figure he might not do that. But see, if it's a stranger that's already wilding, he already giving out the business. He already handing out, you feel me? He already handing out whoopings. He already handing out street whoopings. Because he had a belt. I guess that's why his pants were saggy. He took off his belt to whoop this woman. Then he snatched the cane from her. So he already on 10. So he already wild. So she don't want no smoke with a man that is already violent.
That's what happened to Rhoda Osmond this past weekend. She ran into an unstable gentleman and caught hands. Or should I say caught a brick? And I think it's hands, really. Many people theorize it's hands because it would have led laceration on the face. I heard that today. But she caught something. And then she cried to the heavens, why weren't the men there to protect you? Because you weren't worthy of protection. You weren't worthy of our protection. And we are performing zero-sum games. We're performing benefit analysis. We are weighing the pros and cons against all women now. Because this is a society you want to live in. You want to be single, independent, don't need no man. You want to insult men at every beck and call. Guess what's going to happen? You don't want to live under the auspices of a man? Fair enough. Because the police ain't going to always be there to protect you. Men will not always be there to protect you. And if you go on record to diss men at every beck and call, you're going to end up like Rhoda Osmond with a brick across your face. And you're going to ask questions why. And worst case scenario, which I do not wish for any woman of any form whatsoever, you could end up like many men have in the past, dead.
Thought y'all was the protectors. And we protect our communities and societies with our intellectual property, our bodies, our breast milk. Do you see how ridiculous it sounds? How ridiculous it is? Because you actually hate men, yet you want protection of men from men. Because you cannot handle men, especially physically. If men get out of sorts with you, and they get out of pocket with you, and they get violent with you, you ain't got nothing for him. You don't got nothing for him. And don't think that a gun can equalize all them situations, because you're going to need to be able to be combat ready with that gun.
And let me say this. Only about less than 1% of women are combat ready with guns. Most women would know how to shoot, fire, or even hold it in their hands. Only 1%. And for the 99 who do not know how, God help you. Pray that you're a feminine woman and you're under the auspices of a man, because the repercussions could be dire. We have a question from Chanel. She says, one question I have, if the father doesn't protect the daughter, then what? Here's the thing. Fathers will always protect their daughters. Always. Always. Because that is their seed. There will be never come a day when a father will not protect their daughter, because that is their possession. That is whom they have been charged with being a protector. There'll never come a day where his father doesn't protect his daughter. However, if you have a daughter like, let's go there. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. If you have a daughter like this, you go here. If you have a daughter like this, I just heard about this today. Yeah, if you have a daughter like this here, there it is. Yes. You have such a daughter like, little Boozy's daughter. Here she is. And I'll let her explain. Hold on. Lead attorney doing wonderful...
Lead attorney.
Lead attorney here. Yes, indeed. Shout out to lead attorney. He's doing wonderful things YouTube streets. I got to subscribe to his message. If you have a daughter like this in your household, I pray what you're going to do.
Right. So, but if y'all listen, if y'all manage to trap me and I knock one of y'all up, just know, number one, I'm being like Boosie. I'm getting my DNA test. Number two, I love you and everything. Not in the waiting room. I mean, not in the little thing. I'm in the waiting room. All right, y'all chill out. Chill out.
Sorry, we're gonna get there now.
It's even stronger. And this girl said one thing that was absolutely true. She said, why are you...
No, let's go there. Sorry.
I'm conflicted. I do not think you should talk bad about your children. And
where is this damn thing? Sorry about this, guys.
Todo. Woo! At any rate, if I ever had a kid, man, I'm in the waiting room. All right, y'all chill out. Let me be like the old school dudes. All right, but shout out to Boozy for getting a DNA test. This is something that the vast majority of y'all don't do.
Then you talk about some hood right there. It's hood right there. We have a blender for a hood rat.
Who knock at their door to
yeah? Who knock at a door to see if the hood rat baby he's
okay? Who thinks she's a hood rat? Was Boozy?
If that's your daughter, if that is your daughter, and you can hear the mother in the background, I know you can. If that's your daughter, if you have an attitude, if your daughter has an attitude like little Boozy's daughter, a 60-year-old just got out here thinking that she all grown, then it's a choice for a man to decide if he ever will protect his daughter. Then it's a choice. Chances are he'll, defend her at the end of the day. But if he doesn't, them's the breaks. Because a daughter with an attitude as such never came under the auspices of a man. Never was under the headship of a man. Never was. And probably never will. Because her attitude denotes a lack of tact, decorum, fit, feminine friendliness, cooperative submissiveness that is, she is totally devoid of it. And so, sooner rather than later, That man will throw his hands up and said, she's all yours. State, country, I absolve any sort of protection or provision over her. I'm getting a DNA test. I'm testing to see if this is actually my daughter. Because no daughter of mine could have a mouth like that. Hell no. Hell no. Know a daughter who will have a mouth like this, who I wish to have a mouth like this? I'm going to show you right now. This is, I saw this today. And this lady, let me tell you something. This lady right here,
state the obvious. No man should put his hands on a woman. We desire protection, but sometimes what we don't understand is that true protection comes with a level of control. Bodyguards are a good example. A bodyguard will make their client leave from a dangerous place. The bodyguard has to know all the details: who, what, when, where, why, and how. And the client has to listen to the bodyguard and follow the instruction that the bodyguard gives them. It's really an agreement between all parties involved. When the person who needs protecting does not follow the instruction and the direction of the protector, it puts the protector in a situation where they're more likely to lose their life. I have 4 brothers and a father, and I listen to their instruction even when they're not around. They have told me to stay away from certain places if I'm by myself or if it's late at night. They've also advised me not to be drunk or high in certain situations. Even though my brothers, my dad, and the men in my life protect me, I in turn protect them by listening to them and following their instruction. They don't have to come to my defense in some wild scenario, because if I listened to them, I wouldn't have been there in the first place. And this is another thing I feel like is pertinent to say, and I know folks ain't gonna like this one. I don't have sons right now, but when I do have sons, I'm gonna teach them that there's a difference between diamonds and dirt and rubies and rocks. Rubies and diamonds are often in jewelry stores. They're in glass cases, they're secured, there's an alarm system. There's a lot of layers of protection because those things are valuable. But you could pull over to the side of the road and find some dirt and rocks. Expecting a man to risk his well-being, his future, and his life on someone who does not see value in themselves or the man is asinine. That's a very asinine thing to ask. All I'm saying is protection comes with a little bit of sacrifice. It comes with a little bit of control. And me personally, I feel that what I have to sacrifice and the amount of control I have to give up is 100% worth it to receive the protection that I've been getting my whole life.
Stop it right there.
So I have two
No. Don't need to hear from you, Dawn. Thank you very much. Stop it right there. See that? That's a daughter. That there is a daughter. That's a daughter that was raised by men and had men surrounding her all her life. You can see she oozes femininity. See, the thing about it is this. You'll know you have a feminine woman when you had males all around her all her life. A strong father figure, strong brothers, strong uncles, who showed that woman that she is a delicate flower and deserves protection and provision of the highest regard. That's a daughter. That there's a daughter. That's your answer to your question there, Chanel. That's a daughter. I'm sure your daughters are just like her. That's a daughter. No doubt about it, that's a daughter. Let me get back to this. I don't know what the hell happened here. I'm gonna pull this back up again because this one is just like stupid. Okay, let's get back to that again. And I'm gonna break it down for you. And listen to what the woman has to say for herself. This woman is absolute gold dust. And so rare in our society. Shout out to Erica Lachey, sorry. Erica Lachey, she's on TikTok. And she put out this video right here. And let me say something right now. It is absolute diamonds in what she had to say. We'll break it down again. We'll break it down again.
In regards to black women not being protected, let me first state the obvious. No man should put his hands on a woman. We desire protection, but sometimes what we don't understand is that true protection comes with a level of control. Bodyguards are a good example.
Stop.
Bodyguard will make their client leave from a dangerous place. The bodyguard has to know all the details: who, what, when, where, why, and how. And the
Stop right there. With you being protected, you have to let go of an element of control, ladies. That's why when you call us controlling and insecure, no, we're protecting what's valuable. That's the thing you don't get. That's what your emotional reactions never really fathomed, never really took into account. You are valuable to us. So we have to issue a certain amount of control over you so that you are not, say you are protected and you are not harmed. This is a woman, you can just sit, look at her. Eric Lachey, shout out to you. Oh my God. You can see the femininity oozing out of her pores. You can see it here on Talk Talk Live on YouTube. It oozes out of her. Out of every pore, out of every orifice, out of her being, her soul. She is feminine to the core of her being. These are the girls that get wiped up like that. These are the feminine women that men are clamoring for. She will not be alone for long, believe me. She'll be married within months and years, believe me. That's the feminine woman. That's the one that most men are willing to pay top dollar to obtain. Thank goodness I finally get this on thing. There we go. Please continue, Erica. Please continue.
And the client has to listen to the bodyguard and follow the instruction that the bodyguard gives them. It's really an agreement between all parties involved. When the person who needs protecting does not follow the instruction and the direction of the protector, it puts the protector in a situation where they're more likely to lose their life.
You get that? If a woman is wilding out, if a woman is feeling herself, if a woman is appears bigger than her britches, and she goes on a wild tirade, the man who's come to protect her, as what happened in that Walmart that day, may end up losing his life. Just as she said. Just as she said. I am old-fashioned. Men are not like that. Chanel, you need to get out more. You need to get out more. And I say it, you know why men aren't like that anymore? Simply because women have said, you don't need us. You're single. You're independent. You don't need men. You don't want to be under the headship of a man. You don't want to be under their control. You don't want to be under his protection. Are you not getting what's being said here now by this lady? If you are precious to us, we will instill a measure of control over you to a point where you are not harmed. It's not because of our insecurity or our controlling ways. It's not because we are lesser men than anybody else. We love you so much, we want to protect you. We covet you so much that we want you under lock and key. So only a certain amount of men have access to you. Are you not getting this? If we didn't care, do what the hell you want. Be a Rhoda Osmond. See what it got her? A brick upside the face. And wait, the LGBTQ and the Pink Mafia, did they come to her rescue? Did the lesbians come and swoop down and smite the man that threw a brook in her head? No, because they knew better. They'd be the ones at the MTA in New York sitting behind glass, filming everything. They would dare not enter into proceedings because they knew if they catch hands, things won't end up well. Things would not end up well. Listen further.
I have 4 brothers and a father, and I listen to their instruction even when they're not around. They have told me to stay away from certain places if I'm by myself or if it's late at night. They've also advised me not to be drunk or high in certain situations. Even though my brothers, my dad, and the men in my life protect me, I in turn protect them by listening to them and following their instruction.
Try telling a modern woman that. Try telling a modern woman to follow a man's instructions. You will not hear the end of it. You're too controlling, you're too masculine, you're too narcissistic. Da, 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 da. We would not hear the end of it. But what I'm teaching these boys here is that you must protect the woman that you're with. And they know this. They both have black belts. They would not let any harm come to their women because guess who gave them the example? Yeah. Well, I helped do it as well. Because they were surrounded by men. Protectors and providing men. Who let them know that the woman that you have will accept your protection, will accept your control because they care about you that much. They'll accept it. They will love you for it. Modern women don't get that. If modern women don't get that, guess what? They don't get the privilege of protection. How's that? You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't give up you can't turn down the social contract unilaterally and decide to yourself, oh, since we turned it down, we still need that part of the agreement that we turned down. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have things both ways. Either you need it or you don't. If you don't, well, a self-correction has to be undergone in which women have to understand that with no control comes consequence.
They don't have to come to my defense in some wild scenario because if I listened to them, I wouldn't have been there in the first place. And this is another thing I feel like is pertinent to say, and I know folks ain't gonna like this one. I don't have sons right now, but when I do have sons, I'm gonna teach them that there's a difference between diamonds and dirt and rubies and rocks. Rubies and diamonds are often in jewelry stores. They're in glass cases. They're secured. There's an alarm system. There's a lot of layers of protection because those things are valuable. But you could pull over to the side of the road and find some dirt and rocks.
A lot of modern women are dirt and rocks. Yep, I said it. A lot of modern women are dirt and rocks. They're dirt and rocks. A lot of Western modern women are dirt and rocks. A lot of black women are dirt and rocks. Sorry. They bit the apple way too to such a great extent that they have a high level of contempt for black men in general. And black men now see them as dirt and rocks. They see them as dirt and rocks. That's why you see at the caption on the top here, if you're watching on YouTube, protect black women, because she understands that black women are the least married, the least protected women. Western black women are the least protected and least married women on the planet because of their own doing. So that's why the slogan up there is so poignant, because to black women, I mean, they can protect themselves, or they can ask their sisterin to come to their rescue, or if you're of that persuasion, the Pink Mafia, the Alphabet Gang, they'll come to protect you. But I've never seen it. Never seen. Against a man, I've never seen.
Expecting a man to risk his well-being, his future, and his life on someone who does not see value in themselves or the man is asinine. That's a very asinine thing to ask. All I'm saying is protection comes with a little bit of sacrifice. It comes with a little bit of control. And me personally, I feel that what I have to sacrifice and the amount of control I have to give up is 100% worth it to receive the protection that I've been getting my whole life.
Shout out to you.
What do you do for a living?
No. I don't need to hear from pole dancers right now. I do not need to hear from pole dancers right now at all. Shout out to Erica Lachey. Erica Lachey is a rose who grew through the concrete. And she will make a husband a very, very, very happy and lucky man himself. No truer words can be said than that. Crimson, please take the floor once more and elucidate these modern women.
And not pulling it to be threatening nobody. You either pull it and use it, or don't pull it. Pull it and use it, or don't pull it. And a lot of women are not ready for that.
Again, 99% aren't ready. They aren't.
Just like the video that I showed earlier today. Not even grateful for the protection that you would get from a man. But what we really want to talk about is the evolution of the chickens coming home to roost. Women, you have spit that for more than half a century now. You have told men that they are on the bottom of your shoe, that you do not need them, that you do not like them, that you do not value them, that you do not want them around. You have made every effort to demonize them. You've said that their masculinity is toxic. You have said that men are crazy. You have said that men are not human. You have said that men are not capable of care or love or respect or any of that. You've said everything that you can. You drag men in as a collective through the family court systems. You've dragged them to the fire and back. You put your hands on men. You have deleted men. You have deleted their seeds. I'm not talking about abortions. I'm talking about the kids that's living and breathing. You've decided that if he get custody or something going on, you're going to use his kids against them or you delete them. But so women have perpetrated some of the most evil acts and put out some of the most foul energy towards men in general. They spread rhetoric all over the internet about how to use men, about how to not like men but still get things out of men. Mm-hmm. How to disrespect men and get away with it. How to fleece men and get away with it. How to destroy men and get away with it. Yeah. How to destroy them with their family, how to utilize money against them, how to utilize the system against them, how to utilize your womanhood, the fact that you're a woman against them. Lies about sexual assaults, lies about rapes, lies about all kinds of stuff you've done as a collective. To demonstrate the level of misandry that you collectively have against men. You don't like them. Furthermore, you hate them. You despise men. You despise them.
How true and how prophetic those words are. Women have a high level of contempt for men. Literal contempt to a point of hate. She's right. And they will beg, borrow, steal, connive in order to get an upper hand against men, because the fourth wave of feminism is that of superiority. It's not about equality anymore. It's not about getting the vote anymore. It's not about any of these things. It's about women proving that they are superior to men in every way, shape, and form. The fact of the matter is, that can't be. And so they hate. When you can't create the society in which you thrive in, hate comes with it. Hate comes with it. And so we, as men, have to take action. And if that means backing away from women who do not wish to be under our headship, so be it. Who do not wish to be protected, so be it. We can't say anymore. We've taken 50 years of this nonsense, and we're not going to have it anymore. You want to battle a man? We will call the police, but we will not risk our lives for you. Not anymore. We will not lose our families for you if you do not wish to be covered. Not anymore. That ends today. And Rhoda Hobson found out. When she wanted to call out the lesbian community and herald them for creating society, those privileges were yanked away. Being protected by a man is a privilege, not a right, ladies. If you do not wish to have that privilege, it will be revoked. En masse. Good luck. Because if you're left in the lion's den without a chair, with a hungry lion, with a hungry disposition, chances are you'll be hung. And we don't wish this on any person, but women willfully walk into lions' dens every single day and expect protection from men. We're not walking into the lion's den with you anymore. We're not doing it. Ask your brothers, ask your fathers, ask your male compatriots. Other than that, we will not do that en masse. You must learn to behave yourself in public. And if you don't, then any sort of protection to you that you thought would be given to you, that you thought would be betrothed to you, will be taken away. Then you'll find out, oh, right, that feminine part, yeah, that's important. Happy Pride.
This has gotten you out of the covering of men, because finally within the last few years, men have decided that they're going to believe what you said. And so therefore, if you can't stand me, then I can no longer provide you with random protection, random affection, random love, random concern. I can no longer afford to provide that, because women have created a very dangerous environment for men to interact with them on any level. So even men who mean well are unable to truly interact with women in what's the word I'm looking for? In any a wholesome way, a good way. I need y'all to look at the effect of that rhetoric. The blowback is coming to all the women because we, meaning The lionesses that didn't speak up, or the lionesses that allowed their voices to be drowned out. And I get it, but still it happened. The hyenas took the center stage and they grabbed the microphone and they told everybody that hyena was life. And this is how they're gonna, this is how they're gonna operate. And this is all of that type of stuff. And this is how we really feel about men. And this is how we move with men and stuff like that. We don't care what men think. And we don't care what men feel. And we don't care how our actions affect them. We're going to do what we want to do as chaotically as possible.
There's a reason why the Crimson Cure referred to women as hyenas, because the hyena species of animal, they are a gynocracy. Hyenas are run by women. The hierarchy in a hyena kingdom is really gynocracy. Women are at the head of the table, and men, well, basically do the bidding of women. And there are a lot of son husbands there, to be fair. So that's why you find the hyena population and the hyena modus operandi and way of doing things as being so unorganized. It's way more disorganized than that of a lion pride. There is a definite hierarchy. There's a definite system. Women can hunt. Women can do can reap the benefits of being a strong animal. However, a part of a strong species. However, when worse comes to worse, there's always the men who could step in and sell a feud, bag a kill, do what's necessary to create order. There is disorder among hyenas. That's the reason why she refers to hyenas as such. Hoes, hyenas, there's a similarity. But let's continue.
And the hyenas held center stage. The rhetoric was dangerous for this reason. For this reason. It should not have been allowed for this reason. Because the chickens will come home to roost for all the women, not just the hyenas. See, trying to be sisterly with a hyena gets you in trouble. Trying to bond with them. I'm talking to the women right now. Let me read some of these super chats. I see your super chats.
Okay. As you can hear, she understands that hyenas will never be top of the food chain because of their disorganization and because of the lack of... I mean, they're survivors, there's no doubt about that, but it's a topsy-turvy environment, and let's face facts. Women left to their own devices in society will, lead society down a very lonely road in which men would literally take over and exact some sort of control. Let's move forward with the Crimson Cure. We're going to keep going here. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's do this.
And she stood safely behind glass and a door. That's why that's cap.
Oh, we're going to move that a little further. Here we go.
Like a man.
It is hour 41, I think. 40? 41.
The males in a hyena clan are always subjugated and done dirty.
There you go. Now
there is no amount of doing that he can do to get him out of a position of being treaded on and taken advantage of and not valued. That's what I want to be understood. Thank you, see that type of without the system, order, and structure of men, without a man guiding, without male leadership, without his masculinity, without his problem solving, you want to be bad followers.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to operate in bad faith with men. So now the society has said, okay, now you'll be men. Now you'll be men. And men don't get no slack cut for them. You get what you get, and sometimes you get stuff that you wasn't earning, that you didn't earn, and you just get it and you just gotta live with it.
One thing that has to be brought to the fore, and Myron from Fresh Fit always says this, is that women live life on easy mode. As I said earlier on in this show, they live life on easy mode. And the fact of the matter is, we've created societies in such a way that we want women to live life on easy mode. We do. We want women to be the nurturers and carers and the bonders of family units. We want women to do that. We want women to do that. I mean, they can listen. They can be as independent as they want, but that comes at a price. And there's a limit to that independence. Especially if you want to live under the headship of a man, and that is this. If you want to be independent and yet want our protection and provision, that can't go, because that is breaking the social contract between men and women. Men protect, provide. Women nurture, rear, and bond the family together. That's what women do. And if you want to be single independent, that's fine. But don't think that we won't. You can't literally enforce a contract you wish to break. Think of it that way. You have a contract, you want to break it, fine. We are under, you will be considered men, as Crimson Cure said. However, you can't turn around and say, oh, we want you to continue living up to your end of the contract while we break the rules over here. Oh, no. We still want your protection, but we don't need you. We still want your provision, but we have our own money. You getting this? That is the hypocrisy of modern women. They want all the good without the bad. They want to live up to a contract they wish to break. They want to get all the provisions of a man while still earning their own money and keeping it for themselves. You see what I'm saying? That's the cloud cuckoo land world in which we live in this Western world. And men are saying, no, we will not live under our protection guideline because you are not under our control, possession, and care. We do not owe you a duty of care. So you know what will happen? This is an old negligence concept. Duty of care, breakage of duty, causation, and damages. And if you do not wish for us to give you that duty of care, damages will result, as Rhoda Osman found out. So you're in all the way with us, or you're out. And if you're out, let the Pink Mafia / Alphabet Gang save you. But they ain't coming. They are not coming. It was clearly seen this past weekend that they're not coming when men are involved.
And everybody turns a blind eye, because if men were getting jumped on by another man, by anybody, if men was getting jumped on by another man, nobody's going to jump into that. They're going to record. And if a man is getting jumped by a woman, they're going to record and laugh.
Yep.
And nobody's going to ask about the circumstances. Nobody is going to be trying to figure out who was the aggressor, who was in the wrong, who did what to who. Because when men murk each other, nobody's trying to get to the bottom of who was wrong or right.
Again, the cost-benefit analysis, people. Men will do the cost-benefit analysis on every woman who does not wish to live under, as Crib Jakir would say, our stewardship, order, and structure. If you do not want our protection, provision, planning, and procreation, you're on your own. This is a free country. Do as you will, but don't come running to us when you're in trouble. You better have a man in the pocket, brother, father, someone, or the authorities to come help you out, because random men aren't doing it anymore. It's not worth the risk.
They just all get thrown in a pot for being violent and being savages. So nobody cares about when men fight, or when they lose their life, or when other consequences come about when they are violent with each other. If a woman is violent towards him, he deserved it somehow. They're going to laugh because he a punk, because he get whooped up by a woman. If he hits her back, he's a punk because he didn't walk away and he's fighting a woman. So nobody cares about when men are attacked.
Nope. Nobody cares.
And now, since you wanted to be men, and so the society has said...
Just as a sidebar, the man who was that we had shown earlier who died while protecting another woman in a Walmart, that's probably the last we'll hear of that man. Outside of his immediate family. It's probably the last you'll hear of that man. Because no woman, even the one who was rescued by that man, will come to his aid, raise money for him, care for him. Because that's why men say women can be sympathetic, they'll feel sorry for you, but not empathetic. They will not put you in each other's shoes and not do the math it takes to keep themselves out of trouble. And listen to the man, as Erica Lachey said earlier, in order to protect you. Men won't do that, man. They won't do those mental gymnastics. They won't. They'll just act on instinct. They'll act on sheer, utter emotion. And it usually ends up badly for men. So we're not doing it anymore. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. When you act out emotionally and look to us and say, why aren't you protecting me? Because you didn't want our protection. You didn't want it. You didn't need it. You said you were single and independent. You didn't need a man. Especially black women. And that's why... Here's another conduit of that of your non-wishing of protection. Black marriages between black women and black men are falling precipitously. But here's the thing. Black men are having a healthy amount of marriages. Black women aren't. You're the lowest married individuals, gender on planet Earth. Simply because you bought the feminist tree hook, line, and sinker and think that is the best fruit of all time. How's that working out for you? Just saying.
And okay, you can be a man. We're gonna give you a taste of being a man.
Mm-hmm.
Until you get back in your woman position, you're gonna be whooped. The world will spank you in a way that you really will get the message. You really will get the message.
Remember that whole pendulum thing? Yeah. This is what I was talking about right here. Life has a way of knocking things back into shape. Especially when the pendulum swings all the way one end. There has to be a balance. So it's going to swing back. And that's what we're on right now. We're on a comeback trajectory. Where things have to be brought back into balance. And what's it going to take? It's going to take a lot more women getting their ass whooped for them to realize that they are not men. And when they realize that and start resting in their feminine, things will start getting back to normal. Things will start falling back into place. But you want to fight pink fags? You want to fight your independence? You want to prove that you're better than men? Okay. Okay. When sex assaults are on the rise, when violence against women are on the rise, you don't understand why, listen to what we are saying tonight. And remember, it shouldn't be. Women should be able to rest in their feminine and have men protect them. But since you do not wish to be covered, you will not be covered. You will not be covered.
The old woman in the video that we just looked at a little while ago was literally getting whooped with a belt. Old girl got hit with a brick. Brittany Renner almost caught hands from a boxer.
Mm-hmm. Show that.
That man hands lethal.
Oh yeah. 6'4", 260. Yeah, but she wanna cuss him out. Okay.
And she was still somewhere woofing. Why? Why was Brittany Renner woofing? Because she felt protected. She felt like that man wasn't gonna come over there and give her no smoke. And y'all have thrown them dice and gambled and gambled and gambled. To now, you ain't coming up with 7 and 11. You coming up with snake eyes. Some of these times you coming up with snake eyes.
Yeah. Big time snake eyes.
And then getting whooped. Thank you, Miss 39 Dina. Thank you, Immortal One said, blessings to you, beautiful one. Thank you so much for your contribution. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Crimson Cure. Wait, we're just going to finish
Under the
up.
collective covering of men, so they understood that, wait a minute, if I get on this woman in public in the street, if it's other men around, I might actually have to deal with these other men too. And they don't want to do that. So, they don't put their hands on you and stuff like that, even if that's somewhere where they would go with it. Now, generally speaking, women are not under the covering of men anymore. You got to have your own man now. No more collective covering. The men are saying, we are not giving you 4 Ps back committee no more. If you want 4 Ps, you need to get in line with a specific man and let him do it.
Yep.
And most of y'all aren't going to be able to do that because you hard head. And a hard head make a soft what?
Stop behind. Stop behind. Say it again. Y'all think. Y'all really, 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 really think that things are sweet right now, ladies. They're going to get rougher. Let me say that again. They're going to get rougher and rougher and rougher, and you'll remember what we're talking about here tonight on Talk Live and in many parts of the manosphere, and realize the error of your ways. We'll be back for hour 3 in just a bit. Stay tuned. Sorry. We're back live on Talk Live. Sorry about that. Thank you very much for joining me. I had to grab something. Protein bar. For I haven't eaten pretty much all day. Very much a busy day for me. But we're back. And we are just finishing up the show of if all modern women deserve protection from their men. It's clear that they don't. It's clear they don't. And to expect random men to protect you at all times and for us to be chivalrous on all occasions, that deal's now gone. That deal is by the wayside. You need to find that protection from your fathers, from your husbands, from your children, from your families. Do not expect it from random men, because when doing the cost-benefit analysis, when weighing the pros and cons, the assets and liabilities, if we're going to come out losers, we're going to end up dead or in jail, we're not coming to the rescue. Don't expect it. And if you want to be protected in this society going forward, you need to be feminine and you need to be under the auspices of a man. Plain and simple. I'll let my girl Crimson Cure finish up, and then we'll have a final word.
Not gonna be able to acquire a man because you done made marriage toxic. You done made him sleeping with you be toxic. You will not even be, you won't even be able to sell yourself to a man and get him to protect you. You will not even be able to barter yourself to a man because y'all thought it around and you made sex useless. That's worthless. That's not, the price of kitty cat is in the toilet. This a whole bear market. So that's useless.
You're right. Expecting men to pay women $500 to $1,000 to take them out on dates to see no parts of it, it's absolutely ludicrous. I tell my male friends that all the time. If you find a woman who's going to take you over that mark, guess what? Leave her ass. Because at the end of the day, what you're paying $500 for, she'll give somebody else for free. So you give her that deductible leeway, I call it. But after that, get out of there. Get gone. Get out of there. Because they do not want they want your provision and your protection at a cost. And it's not a cost worth paying. Simple as that.
They don't want that. Not enough to be risking it all.
Nope. Okay.
We are looking at the consequences. We are looking at the ramifications. We are looking at the repercussions of such a reckless, dangerous rhetoric about how you don't need, don't want, can't stand men. You are not going to be able to keep telling men that and then expect them to keep doing what they've been doing with a smile on their face. Not going to be able to do that.
Again, enforcing a broken contract. Asking us to live up to a unilaterally destroyed agreement. That's not going to happen. None. Telling us to be traditional men when you're not traditional women. That's not going to happen. Traditional men are just going to leave you as for recreational use only and move forward. When there's a fight that ensues, you're on your own. And expect family to come to the rescue, not random men, because it's not worth it. Just the way we adapted to single mothers, we adapt to your protection.
Because unlike women, not working on an emotion, now they just working on the logic of it all. Does it make sense? I could do the protection piece, like I got it in me to do the protection thing, but do I want to do it? Now you're making them think about it. When before it was automatic. Now, because the threat level is so high dealing with you, now they got to think, now they got to ponder. Do I want to protect or videotape?
That's the cost-benefit analysis, people. Plain and simple.
This is why that rhetoric that Princella have don't make no sense.
No.
I'm gonna tell you why it don't make no sense. I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna tell the women that listen to Princella and that agree with her whole thing with women having a community.
Princella, aka Rhoda Osmond, the brick house, the brick flare, the Brickisha. Okay.
Society with each other, where they help each other, where you take care of one another and things of that nature. I'm gonna tell you why that's cap. I'm gonna tell y'all why that's cap. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to know why it's cap.
Let's get to the cap.
Have at your back the one that left you out into the wolves to get ate up and beat up, and as she stood safely behind glass and a door. That's why that's cap. That's why that's cap. Because a woman's not gonna risk anything to help another woman do nothing.
Did you hear that? I'll go back again so you can hear it again. A woman's not gonna do what? Crimson?
That's why that's cap. That's why that's cap.
Tell them why it's cap, Crimson. Please tell them why it's cap.
A woman's not gonna risk anything to help another woman do nothing. Because women are too selfish for that. We don't make sacrifices for everybody, and especially people we don't know and have no connection to. We don't actually do that. Now, do we? But we want men to do it. We won't do it. We refuse to do it. That woman is not giving up her MTA job to help no old lady, because if you ask her why she ain't do it, she gonna give you a myriad of excuses. The first excuse gonna be, well, I'm not gonna lose my job. Policy say I don't gotta do that. Then she gonna tell you about how she don't know that old lady, and she don't know what happened with that old lady. She don't know who that man is to her. She don't know none of the circumstances and why should she have to go out there and fight? And then that was a man. She ain't going out there fight no man. And why come when the other men didn't do it? And so she not gonna do it. And so why would you expect her as a woman to go and do it? This is why what Priscilla talking about is cap. Y'all are not going to squad up and take care of one another and have each other's back in the absence of men.
Did you get that? Did you hear that, Pink Mafia? Did you hear that, Alphabet Gang? You will not squad up. You will not get together and protect each other. You are self-preservationists at the highest of regards. At the height of your existence, you are what you are, and that is narcissists. You only look out for number one, and that is you. And that is your children. And those are your children. That is it. Devil take the high road. Devil may care. But you will not en masse get out there and protect a woman from a man. LGBTQ community, Rhoda Osman. With your intellectual properties and your breast milk and all this other nonsense. Literal, utter nonsense. Men know better. Men know different. When the going gets tough, the girls get going. And I mean not in a good way. I mean in a bad way. Bear Grylls the island. I heard someone say, yes. Total example. Divide and conquer. Self-preservation. So what Brickisha had to say falls on deaf ears. Quite literally. Because it's not going to happen in the man's world. And it is a man's world. Let's make that completely clear. We'll let you have your fun, we'll let you have your songs, but at the end of the day, realize that the world was built by men. And if you are not under our auspices of control and care, you'll be left to your own devices. You'll be left in the lion's den without a chair and realize what men have to go through on a daily basis and the mental calculus that they have to do every day in order to survive.
Because if men decide to come give you smoke, every woman gonna be for herself. Because that's what women do. We got very few people in our circle that we would risk it all for. It's usually your children.
What I say?
Lionesses will do it for husbands and family members as well.
What I say?
Very few. Our circle this big when we talk about who we gonna lay it all on the line for.
What I say? What I say?
Because I'm not jumping in either. But then again, I don't talk that rhetoric about how women don't need men and how women can fight men. See, that's why I don't talk about all that, because it's not real. It's not real. It's a fantasy. And the woman behind that MTA glass knows it's a fantasy. Because when faced with the concept, I know the thought ran through her head, should I go out there and do something? Then she was like, no. Messing with these people. You want some of this, old man? No.
Thank you, Crimson Cure. When the shit hits the fan, women aren't a man. Let me say it again. When the shit hits the fan, women are a man. And they will run to the hills to seek protection. The only time a mother bear comes through to protect her cub, to protect anything, is for her cubs. That's it. Barely any other member of her family. But for her cubs, oh yes. She'll risk it all then. But other than that, we're done here. We're so done. We're so done. Thank you, Crimson Cure, doing wonderful things in the YouTube street. Please subscribe to this lady. Please, please, please. She's doing wonderful things in the YouTube streets. Telling it like it is. Setting the record straight. She is a treasure we need to protect. This woman deserves protection. This one right here, she deserves protection. A lot of y'all modern women don't. Especially when you're in your whole phase. Sorry. It's true. We'll allow it because you're at your sexual peak. So. But as soon as you fall on your 30s and 40s, that's another game. That's another story. I'm going to let it finish off with my man MTR, because he has something to say about this subject. And quite simply, it needs to be said. I'll let him close.
And the society begins to crumble. But what I'm telling men is to make an intelligent decision, understand the context of the situation as much as what you can, before you jump into something. You see, that would be a logical approach to a very hot button topic, one of which involves the lives of men. But for you see, madame, you don't care anything about that, because the low-level disdain for men oozes from your feminist pores and demonstrates perfectly your lack of empathy for the male plight, demonstrating to us that you don't live in reality. You live in a movie, one of which the protagonist's main goal is to save the day, to be their knight in shining armor, even if you're not accountable for them, even if they don't know you, even if they don't respect you, even if they put themselves in that exact position, and even if they wouldn't do the same for you. This chick, I feel.
Again, what he says is right. A lot of this whole chivalry ideal was based on Hollywood, the movies. That men should die for their women. And women ate it up hook, line, and sinker to a point where you get a lady like this asking the question where you are considered less of a man unless you run into a burning building, jump off a bridge, go face first off a cliff in order to save a woman who may have haphazardly ended up into a predicament of negativity. Even though we warned you, don't do that, you did it anyway. Now you're asking us to save your ass. No. That will not happen anymore. You want your ass whooped? Get your ass whooped. You want to die? You will die. Don't ask us to come save you. Because at the end of the day, we're the dead ones. You won't be by our funeral and gravesite. You will not be protecting and providing for our families. No.
Like, believes that she's in a Spider-Man cartoon.
Mary Jane, will you marry me? Mary Jane! Why did you do that?
To prove to myself that you'll always be there for me when it really counts. You will, won't you, Peter?
Yes. Yes, I will.
Then of course I'll marry you.
Women like this grow.
Wow. I knew I had to end with my man MTR. That's exactly what women want from men. If they jump off a building, we need to come and save them. If they get hit, if they get touched, as Prodigy said in Shook Ones. R.I.P. Prodigy. We're supposed to catch those hands. If bullets fly, we're supposed to be the human shield. For the vagaries of your disposition. That will not happen anymore. Ask your father, ask your sons, ask your brothers to be your protectors. Because at the end of the day, random men won't do it. They'll call the police. They'll film the beatdown that we do not condone in any way, shape, or form. But they will not be your rescue team.
Grew up watching cartoons, entranced by Disney, enamored by the programming. And I'm not even gonna go over her replies section to all of this, because I don't want to stress y'all out too much for today. But here's what it looks like when a woman who has fantastic relationships with men in her life go against the modern woman echo chamber.
In regards to black women not being protected, let me first state the obvious.
I'll let it go.
No man should put his hands on a woman.
I know she said in regards to black women being protected by black men, but
you've
let me
already
also
heard this
just say
again.
that I think nobody should put their hands on anybody, no matter the gender.
We desire protection, but sometimes what we don't understand is that true protection comes with a level of control. Bodyguards are a good example. A bodyguard will make their client leave from a dangerous place. The bodyguard has to know all the details: who, what, when, where, why, and how. And the client has to listen to the bodyguard and follow the instruction that the bodyguard gives.
Again, nothing more to be said. I'll let her explain one more time because I'll let her speak on its own merits. Because you women got to realize that this needs to be you. Needs to be you. In order for you to be protected and provided for.
In regards to black women not being protected, let me first state the obvious. No man should put his hands on a woman. We desire protection, but sometimes what we don't understand is that true protection comes with a level of control. Bodyguards are a good example. A bodyguard will make their client leave from a dangerous place. The bodyguard has to know all the details: who, what, when, where, why, and how. And the client has to listen to the bodyguard and follow the instruction that the bodyguard gives them. It's really an agreement between all parties involved. When the person who needs protection
I gotta play one more time. Hold on, let me go one more time.
In regards to black women not being protected, let me first state the obvious. No man should put his hands on a woman. We desire protection, but sometimes what we don't understand is that true protection comes with a level of control. Bodyguards are a good example. A bodyguard will make their client leave from a dangerous place. The bodyguard has to know all the details: who, what, when, where, why, and how. And the client has to listen to the bodyguard and follow the instruction that the bodyguard gives them. It's really an agreement between all parties involved. When the person who needs protecting does not follow the instruction and the direction of the protector, it puts the protector in a situation where they're more likely to lose their life. I have 4 brothers and a father, and I listen to their instruction even when they're not around. They have told me to stay away from certain places if I'm by myself or if it's late at night. They've also advised me not to be drunk or high in certain situations. Even though my brothers, my dad, and the men in my life protect me, I in turn protect them by listening to them and following their instruction. They don't have to come to my defense in some wild scenario, because if I listened to them, I wouldn't have been there in the first place. And this is another thing I feel like is pertinent to say, and I know folks ain't gonna like this one. I don't have sons right now, but when I do have sons, I'm gonna teach them that there's a difference between diamonds and dirt and rubies and rocks. Rubies and diamonds are often in jewelry stores. They're in glass cases, they're secured, there's an alarm system. There's a lot of layers of protection because those things are valuable. But you could pull over to the side of the road and find some dirt and rocks. Expecting a man to risk his well-being, his future, and his life on someone who does not see value in themselves or the man is asinine. That's a very asinine thing to ask. All I'm saying is protection comes with a little bit of sacrifice. It comes with a little bit of control. And me personally, I feel that what I have to sacrifice and the amount of control I have to give up is 100% worth it to receive the protection that I've been getting my whole life.
Stop it right there. Thank you so much, Erica Lachey. Thank you so much for your contribution to the show. That's all it needs to be said. I'll end it with this. So, let's... Here we go. I'll end it with this. And as we began.
So let me clarify this. Are y'all telling us that if you are not related to us, if you are not dating us, if you're not having some sort of physical relationship to us, if you don't find us attractive, if you don't find us polite enough, kind enough, quiet enough, that our lives are not worth protecting? Is that what you're telling us? Is that the precedent you're setting?
Back to the mainstream. Let's break this down once and for all, people. Once and for all. Back to the full can. Let me make this perfectly clear. If you're not feeding us, if you're not shagging us, if you're not bringing us peace, if you're not our muse from which we act, if you're not our mothers, if you're not our sisters, if you're not our daughters, and you believe the gynocracy will come to save you in hours of need, you will not be protected going forward. We will not risk our life and limb. We will not risk our freedoms for a person such as Rhoda Osmond, who believes that women are superior to men and believe that they built society in which we live, which is an absolute joke. And we will not put our lives in jeopardy and danger the way my man from the Walmart story did, which ended his life. We will not do it. We will not do it anymore. We will not be your protectors, modern women. If you do not wish to be fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, if you do not wish our stewardship, if you do not wish our headship, if you don't wish our control and possession of you, you're free to do as you wish, but don't expect us to come to your rescue anymore. No. Ask your brothers, ask your dad, ask your male friends, and even them, they'll think twice. Because it's just not worth it. That's the precedent you set in motion when you thought you were single, independent, did not need a man. When you thought that 80% of men were redundant. When you thought this society was built by the intellectual properties and titties and ass of women. created this scenario. You broke the social contract unilaterally and expected us to clean up the mess. To stick to our end of the bargain, still as traditional men. No. Manhood has come together and realized that that will not be tolerated any longer. And we will move with our feet and let you be the men you want to be. And if that results in you getting your ass whooped and learning a lesson from it, so be it. Even though we don't condone violence against women in any way, shape, or form, if you wish to write checks you can't cash with that mouth of yours and with your actions and with your slaps and with your twerks, you'll get the works. You'll get these hands. And you'll finally realize that the ball you set in motion all those years ago is about to run over you. So you need to be careful what you wish for, because now you're getting it. You wanted that freedom, you wanted that independence. This is what it is, and those are the costs. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. We just hit the 2:30 mark. We're just going to get out of here. A wonderful subject all around, and it needs to be said that women, you need to smarten up. Don't think it's sweet out here. Don't think you're Brittany Renner. You're going to get away with that mouth of yours. It ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. We will check you from time to time, and you will find out what being a man in society really is. You'll find out how nasty, brutish, and short life really is. You'll find out how you've lived life on easy mode all this time, and then, when the tables turn, how unfair life can be. Can be. But if you wish to rest in your feminine, if you wish to have our protection, our stewardship, if you wish to be a lady for the right man, well, chances are your life will be that much more rewarding and that much more uplifting and that much more safe. But I leave that to you. The choice is yours. Because we know, now you know where men stand. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. We'll be back next week. We did 3 shows in a row this week. I like this attitude, this action, and yeah, we're going to try and keep this going as long as we can, as long as I don't have other commitments, of course. But we're going to try and get this in on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, as I wish to have, but I'm going to have a few days off to do what I need to do and enjoy the weekend. So I hope you enjoy the weekend. After Labor Day, I'm going to finish watching the rest of this NFL game. It looks like it's 20-14 Chiefs. Yeah, good game overall. Detroit's really come on these days. Anyways, but thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. We'll see you live next week. Thank you for all the participants in the show. The shows this week. We're going to be dropping, this time we will be dropping shorts on TikTok, on Instagram, on Talk Live. So look out for those, and also on Facebook as well. So look out for those, and yeah, we will look forward to seeing you guys very, very soon. So we're going to say good night from Toronto. See you next week from Talk Live. If you talk, walk. Good night from Toronto. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live on YouTube. This will go up live, and we're going to get some clips up and running on YouTube as well. We're not forgetting you. Thank you very much for your participation. And we're looking to expand the game as we move into the fall of 2023. And thank you very much for your participation tonight. A really lively and engrossing topic that needs to be stated. And quite simply, we need to discuss, ladies. Discuss, because Winter is coming, and it's going to get chilly out there for a lot of you. 2030, 45% of you will be single and childless and alone and in need of cat food, wine, and barbiturates. All right, thank you very much for joining me on Talk to Talk Live, where we will be back next week. Thank you very much. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com, DUNTALK.com, Duntalk.com. Fall Winter Line out now, and it is fire, as I've been wearing all this week. I'll soon be wearing that out in public, so you know who I am, if not for my Arsenal kit anyway. But nonetheless. Thank you very much for joining me.